Chapter 9.
1. Then Vidagdha Sakalya questioned him, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" He answered with this invocation, "As many as it says in the invocation of the hymn to the Visvedavas, 303 and 3003. Oh, he said, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" 33. Oh, he said, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" 6. Oh, he said, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" 3. Oh, he said, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" 2. Om, he said, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" 1.5. Om, he said, "How many gods are there, Yajnavalkya?" 1. Om, he said, "Who are the 303 and 3003? 2, he said, "They are their powers. There are just 33 gods." Who are the 33? The 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, and the 12 Adityas make 31. Indra and Prajapati make 33. 3. Who are the Vasus? Fire, the earth, the wind, the middle air, the sun, the sky, the moon, and the constellations. All this is placed in them, so they are called the Vasus. 4. Who are the Rudras? The 10 breaths in a person with the self as 11th. When they leave this mortal body, they make folk weep, rude. Since they make folk weep, they are called the Rudras. 5. Who are the Adityas? The 12 months of the year are the Adityas. They go yanti, taking adda, all this with them. Since they go, taking all this with them, they are called Adityas. 6. Who is Indra? Who is Prajapati? Indra is the thunderer, Prajapati is the sacrifice. What is the thunderer? The thunderbolt. What is the sacrifice? The animals. Pasu. 7. Who are the 6? Fire, the earth, the wind, the middle air, the sun, and the sky are the 6. The 6 are all this. 8. Who are the 3 gods? They are the 3 worlds, for all the gods are in them. Who are the 2 gods? Food and breath. Who is the 1.5? He who purifies. 9. Some say about this, he who purifies seems to be just 1, so how is he 1.5? But since all this has grown ad yardnate in him, he is 1.5. Who is the one God? Breath, that is, Brahman. They call it the beyond. 10. If someone were to know the person, whose dwelling is the earth, whose world is fire, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower, Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person of the body. Tell me, Sakalya, who is his deity? Immortality, he said. 11. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is desire, whose world is the heart, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower, Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person made of desire. Tell me, Sakalya, who is his deity? Women, he said. 12. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is forms, whose world is the eye, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower, Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person in the sun. Tell me, Sakalya, who is his deity? Truth, he said. 13. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is space, whose world is the ear, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower, Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person of hearing and of the echo. Tell me, Sakalya, who is his deity? The directions, he said. 14. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is darkness, whose world is the heart, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower, Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person made of shadow. Tell me, Sakalya, who is his deity? Death, he said. 15. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is forms, whose world is the eye, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower, Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person in the mirror. Tell me, Sakalya, who is his deity? Life, he said. 16. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is the waters, whose world is the heart, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower. Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person in the waters. Tell me, Sakya, who is his deity? Varuna, he said. 17. If someone were to know the person whose dwelling is seed, whose world is the heart, and whose light is the mind, the ultimate refuge of every self, he would truly be a knower. Yajnavalkya. I know the person you speak of, the ultimate refuge of every self. He is the person made of one's children. Tell me, Sakyalya, who is his deity? Prajapati, he said. 18-year-old Sakalya, cried Yajnavalkya, have the Brahmanas made you their tool, to pull coals from the fire for them? 19. Yajnavalkya, said Sakalya, what is the Brahman that you know that you have out-debated the Brahmanas of the Kurus and Pankalas? I know the directions with the gods and their supports. If you know the directions with their gods and their supports. 20. What deity have you in the eastern direction? I have Aditya as deity there. On what is Aditya supported? On the eye. On what is the eye supported? On forms, for one sees forms with the eye. On what are forms supported? On the heart, he said, for one knows forms with the heart. So forms are supported on the heart. So it is, Yajnavalkya. 21. What deity have you in the southern direction? I have Yama as deity there. On what is Yama supported? On the sacrifice. On what is the sacrifice supported? On the gift to the priests. Daksina. On what is the gift supported? On faith, Dradha. For when one has faith, one gives the gift. So the gift is supported on faith. On what is faith supported? On the heart, he said, for one knows faith with the heart. So faith is supported on the heart. So it is, Yaj. 22. What deity have you in the western direction? I have Varuna as deity there. On what is Varuna supported? On the waters. On what are the waters supported? On seed. On what is seed supported? On the heart, he said. That is why, when a baby is born who looks like his father, they say, he seems to have crept out of his father's heart. He seems to have been fashioned out of his heart. So it is, Yajnavalkya. 23. What deity have you in the northern direction? I have Soma as deity there. On what is Soma supported? On initiation. Diksha. On what is initiation supported? On truth. That is why, when someone is initiated, they tell him, speak truth, for initiation is supported on truth. On what is truth supported? On the heart, he said, for one knows truth with the heart. So truth is supported on the heart. So it is, Yajnavalkya. 24. What deity have you in the center? I have Agni as deity there. On what is Agni supported? On speech. On what is speech supported? On the heart. On what is the heart supported? 25. You fool, said Yajnavalkya, for thinking it might be anywhere else but in us. If it were anywhere else but in us, dogs might eat it, or birds tear it apart. 26. On what are both you and yourself supported? On the breath? Bana. On what is the breath supported? On the lower breath. Apana. On what is the lower breath supported? On the diffused breath. Bana. On what is the diffused breath supported? On the up-breath. Pudana. On what is the up-breath supported? On the central breath. Samana. The self is not this, unseizable, it is not seized, indestructible, it is not destroyed, without clinging, it is not clung to, unbound, it does not suffer, does not come to harm. There are 8 dwellings, 8 worlds, 8 gods, 8 persons. I ask you about the person of the secret teaching, who takes apart and puts together those persons and goes beyond them. If you do not explain him to me, your head will split apart. Sakalya did not know about him, and his head split apart. Indeed, robbers stole his bones, thinking they were something else. 27. Then Yajnavalkya said, Blessed Brahmanas, let whoever of you wishes to question me. or let all of you question me, or I will question whoever of you wishes me to, or I will question all of you. But the Brahmanas dared not. 28. He questioned them with these verses. Just like a tree, a lord of the forest, truly is a man, Purusa. The hairs of his body are the leaves, his skin the outer bark. Blood flows out from his skin like sap from the skin of the tree. When he is wounded, it flows out of him like sap from a tree that has been struck. His flesh is the outer wood, the fibers so strong, his sinews, his bones the hardwood within, his marrow made in the likeness of the pith. Since a tree cut down grows up again in a newer form from its root, from what root does a mortal man cut down by death grow up again? Do not say, from the seed, for that comes from the living. A tree, too, springing up from seed, is reborn directly without having died. When a tree has been pulled up with its root, it cannot grow again. From what root does a mortal man cut down by death grow up again? Though born, he is not born again, for who could beget him again? Brahman, knowledge, joy, and grace, is the final refuge of the giver, the one who abides in it, the one who knows it.
Book 4, Chapter 1.
1. Om. Janaka of Vidyasat to give audience. Yajnavalkya approached him. Janaka said to him, Yajnavalkya, why have you come? Are you wanting cattle or subtle arguments? Both, your majesty, he said. 2. Let us hear what someone has told you. Jitvansalini told me that speech is Brahman. Salini says what anyone would say who had a mother, a father, and a teacher to teach him when he says that speech is Brahman. For what would anyone have who could not speak? But did he tell you its dwelling and support? He did not. Then that is a one-footed Brahman, your majesty. So you tell us, Yajnavalkya. Speech itself is its dwelling, space is its support. One should worship it as knowledge, prajyam. What is the nature of this knowledge? Speech itself, your majesty, he said. By speech, your majesty, a friend is known, prajyam. The Ariji Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, the hymns of the Atharvans and Angirasis, history, legend, science, the Upanishads, verses, sutras, explanatory passages, expositions, sacrifice, offering, food, drink, this world, the other world, and all beings are known by speech, your majesty. Speech, your majesty, is indeed the supreme Brahman, the one who knows this and worships it as such. Speech does not desert him. All beings flock to him, and becoming a god, he goes to the gods. I give you 1,000 cows with a bull like an elephant, said Janaka of Videha. Yajnavalkya said, my father used to say that one should not accept gifts without having taught. 3. Let us hear what someone has told you. Udanka Salbayana told me that the breath is Brahman. Salbayana says what anyone would say who had a mother, a father, and a teacher to teach him when he says that the breath is Brahman. For what would anyone have who could not breathe? But did he tell you its dwelling and support? He did not. Then that is a one-footed Brahman, your majesty. So you tell us, Yajnavalkya. The breath itself is its dwelling, space is its support. One should worship it as the deer. What is its dearness? The breath itself, your majesty, he said. For love of the breath, your majesty, one offers sacrifice for someone for whom one should not offer sacrifice. One accepts gifts from someone from whom one should not accept gifts. For love of the breath, your majesty, in whatever direction one goes, there exists the fear of being killed. The breath, your majesty, is indeed the supreme Brahman, the one who knows this and worships it as such. The breath does not desert him. All beings flock to him, and becoming a god, he goes to the gods. I give you 1,000 cows with a bull like an elephant, said Janaka of Vidyaha. Yajnavalkya said, my father used to say that one should not accept gifts without having taught. 4. Let us hear what someone has told you. Barku Varshna told me that the eye is Brahman. Varshna says what anyone would say who had a mother, a father, and a teacher to teach him when he says that the eye is Brahman. For what would anyone have who could not see? But did he tell you its dwelling and support? He did not. Then that is a one-footed Brahman, your majesty. So you tell us, Yajnavalkya. The eye itself is its dwelling, space is its support. One should worship it as truth. What is its trueness? The eye itself, Your Majesty, he said. For when someone sees with the eye, Your Majesty, and they ask him, have you seen it? And he says, I have seen it. That is the truth. The eye, Your Majesty, is indeed the supreme Brahman, the one who knows this and worships it as such. The eye does not desert him. All beings flock to him, and becoming a god, he goes to the gods. I give you 1,000 cows with a bull like an elephant, said Janaka of Videha. Yajnavalkya said, my father used to say that one should not accept gifts without having taught. 5. Let us hear what someone has told you. Gartabhivi Pita Bharadvaja told me that the ear is Brahman. Bharadvaja says what anyone would say who had a mother, a father, and a teacher to teach him when he says that the ear is Brahman. For what would anyone have who could not hear? But did he tell you its dwelling and support? He did not. Then that is a one-footed Brahman, Your Majesty. So you tell us, Yajnavalkya. The ear itself is its dwelling, space is its support. One should worship it as the endless. What is its endlessness? The ear itself, Your Majesty, he said. That is why, Your Majesty, whatever direction one goes in, one never reaches the end of it. The directions are endless, and the directions, Your Majesty, are the ear. The ear, Your Majesty, is indeed the supreme Brahman, the one who knows this and worships it as such. The ear does not desert him. All beings flock to him, and becoming a god, he goes to the gods. I give you 1,000 cows with a bull like an elephant, said Janaka of Videha. Yajnavalkya said, my father used to say that one should not accept gifts without having taught. 6. Let us hear what someone has told you. Satyakama Jabala told me that the mind is Brahman. Jabala says what anyone would say who had a mother, a father, and a teacher to teach him when he says that speech is Brahman. For what would anyone have who had no mind? But did he tell you its dwelling and support? He did not. Then that is a one-footed Brahman, Your Majesty. So you tell us, Yajnavalkya. The mind itself is its dwelling. Space is its support. One should worship it as joy. What is its joyfulness? The mind itself, Your Majesty, he said. Through the mind, Your Majesty, one is attracted to a woman, and of her a son is born who looks like oneself. That is joy. The mind, Your Majesty, is indeed the supreme Brahman, the one who knows this and worships it as such. The mind does not desert him. All beings flock to him, and becoming a god, he goes to the gods. I give you 1,000 cows with a bull like an elephant, said Janaka of Vidya. Yajnavalkya said, my father used to say that one should not accept gifts without having taught. 7. Let us hear what someone has told you. Vidagdha Sakalya told me that the heart is Brahman. Sakalya says what anyone would say who had a mother, a father, and a teacher to teach him when he says that the heart is Brahman. For what would anyone have who had no heart? But did he tell you its dwelling and support? He did not. Then that is a one-footed Brahman, Your Majesty. So you tell us, Yajnavalkya. The heart itself is its dwelling, space is its support. One should worship it as steadfastness. What is the nature of this steadfastness? The heart itself, Your Majesty, he said. For the heart, Your Majesty, is the dwelling of all beings. The heart, Your Majesty, is the support of all beings. The heart, Your Majesty, is indeed the supreme Brahman, the one who knows this and worships it as such. The heart does not desert him. All beings flock to him, and becoming a god, he goes to the gods. I give you 1,000 cows, with a bull like an elephant, said Janaka of Videha. Yajnavalkya said, my father used to say that one should not accept gifts without having taught.
Chapter 2.
One Janaka of Videha came quietly down from his throne and said, homage to you, Yajnavalkya, teach me, he said. Your Majesty, as one about to go on a great voyage would get hold of a chariot or a ship, so you have a self well prepared by these inner teachings, Upanishad. You are a leader of men, wealthy. You have studied the Vedas and heard the inner teachings. When you are released from here, where will you go? Blessed One, I do not know where I shall go. Then I will tell you where you will go. Tell me, Blessed One. 2. The person in the right eye is called Inda. Though he is Inda, folk call him Indra, mysteriously. because the gods seem to love the mysterious and hate the obvious. 3. The form of a person in the left eye is his wife, Viraj. The place where they meet and praise together is the space within the heart, and their food is the lump of blood within the heart. The path they travel together is the channel that goes upward from the heart. Its channels, called hita, like a hair divided into 1,000 parts, are established within the heart. Through them flows whatever flows, so that self is an eater of choicer food than the bodily self. Pole. The eastern direction is its eastward breaths, the southern direction its southward breaths, the western direction its westward breaths, the northern direction its northward breaths, the direction above its upward breaths, the direction below its downward breaths, all directions, all its breaths. The self is not this, not this. Unseizable, it is not seized. Indestructible, it is not destroyed. Without clinging, it is not clung to. Unbound, it does not suffer, does not come to harm. You have attained fearlessness, Janaka, said Yajnavalkya. Janaka of Videha said, "May fearlessness come to you, Yajnavalkya, since you, Blessed One, make us see fearlessness. Homage to you. Here are the Vedayas, and here am I, at your service."
Chapter 3.
One Yajnavalkya went to Janaka of Videha, intending not to teach. But once, when Janaka of Videha and Yajnavalkya spoke together about the Agnihotra, Yajnavalkya had granted him a boon. The king chose to ask any question he desired, and Yajnavalkya granted it to him. So, the first question he asked him was, "To Yajnavalkya, what light has a man, Purusa? He has the sun as his light. With the sun as his light, he sits, goes about, does his work, and returns. So it is, Yajnavalkya." 3. When the sun has set, Yajnavalkya, what light has a man? He has the moon as his light. With the moon as his light, he sits, goes about, does his work, and returns. So it is, Yajnavalkya. 4. When the sun has set, Yajnavalkya, and the moon has set, what light has a man? Fire is his light. With fire as his light, he sits, goes about, does his work, and returns. So it is, Yajnavalkya. 5. When the sun has set, Yajnavalkya, and the moon has set, and fire has gone out, what light has a man? Speech is his light. With speech as his light, he sits, goes about, does his work, and returns. That is why, Your Majesty, even when one cannot see one's own hand, when speech is uttered, one goes towards it. So it is, Yajnavalkya. 6. When the sun has set, Yajnavalkya, and the moon has set, and fire has gone out, and speech has fallen silent, what light has a man? The self, Atman, is his light. With the self as his light, he sits, goes about, does his work, and returns. 7. What is the self? The person, among the breaths, who consists of knowledge, the inner light in the heart. Remaining the same, he travels the two worlds, seems to think, seems to move about. Falling asleep, he goes beyond this world, the forms of death. 8. When the person is born and gets a body, he is joined with evils. Leaving it, when he dies, he leaves evils behind. 9. The person has two states, this one and the state of the other world. The third intermediate state is that of dreaming sleep. When he rests in the intermediate state, he sees both states, this one and the state of the other world. When he has gone by whatever way it is that one gains the state of the other world, he sees both evils and joys. When he falls asleep, he takes with him the material of this all-containing world. Himself breaks it up. Himself remakes it. He sleeps by his own radiance, his own light. Here the person becomes lit by his own light. 10. There are no chariots, nor chariot horses, nor roads there, but he creates chariots, chariot horses, and roads. There are no pleasures, nor enjoyments, nor delights there, but he creates pleasures, enjoyments, and delights. There are no ponds, nor lotus pools, nor rivers there, but he creates ponds, lotus pools, and rivers. For he is a maker. 11. There are these verses about it. Overcoming with sleep the bodily part. Unsleeping he looks down upon the sleeping. Taking his light he returns to his place. the golden person, the goose who flies alone. 12. Guarding with the breath his nest below, immortal he roves outside his nest. Immortal he goes wherever he desires, the golden person, the goose who flies alone. 13. In the dream state, going high and low, a god he creates many forms, enjoying himself with women, laughing, or even seeing dreadful sights. 14. They see his pleasure, but him nobody sees. That is why they say, you should not wake him suddenly, for a cure is hard to find for someone if it does not get back to him. Some say that this is just the same as his waking state, since he sees when asleep the same objects that he sees when awake. But they are wrong, for in this state he is lit by his own light. Blessed One, I give you 1,000 cows, speak on, for my liberation. 15. When he has taken pleasure in deep sleep, when he has traveled about in it and seen both good and evil, he runs back again, back where he began to dream. Whatever he sees there, he is not followed by it, for the person is without attachment. So it is, Yajnavalkya. Blessed One, I give you 1,000 cows, speak on, for my liberation. 16. When he has taken pleasure in dream, when he has traveled about in it and seen both good and evil, he runs back again, back where he began to the waking state. Whatever he sees there, he is not followed by it, for the person is without attachment. So it is, Yajnavalkya. Blessed One, I give you 1,000 cows. Speak on, for my liberation. 17. When he has taken pleasure in the waking state, when he has traveled about in it, and seen both good and evil, he runs back again, back where he began, to the dream state. 18. As a great fish travels along both banks, the nearer and the farther, even so the person travels along both states, the dream state and the waking state. 19. I was a widow for a decade, no desire and dream, no dream. A fox or eagle, tired after flying around in the sky. Voice, named, in name. Now's the person runs to the state where he desires no desire, and dream no dream. 20. There are in him channels called hita, in minuteness, like a hair divided into 1,000 parts, filled with white, blue, yellow, green, and red. When it seems that folk kill him or overcome him, or an elephant tramples him, or he falls down a hole, he is imagining through ignorance whatever danger he has seen while waking. But when, like a god or a king, he thinks, I am this, I am all, that is his highest world. 21. That is the form of him which is beyond craving, freed from evil, without fear. As a man closely embraced by a beloved wife knows nothing outside, nothing inside, so the person closely embraced by the self of wisdom knows nothing outside, nothing inside. That is the form of him in which his desires are fulfilled, with the self as his desire, free from desire, beyond sorrow. 22. Here a father is not a father, a mother is not a mother. The worlds are not the worlds, the Vedas are not the Vedas. Here a thief is not a thief, a murderer not a murderer, a Kandala not a Kandala, a Pulkasa not a Pulkasa, a monk not a monk, an ascetic not an ascetic. There is no following by good, no following by evil, for then he has passed beyond all sorrows of the heart. 23. Though then he does not see, yet seeing he does not see. There is no cutting off of the seeing of the seer, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, that he might see. 24. Though then he does not smell, yet smelling he does not smell. There is no cutting off of the smelling of the smeller, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, that he might smell. 25. Though then he does not taste, yet tasting he does not taste, There is no cutting off of the tasting of the taster, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, that he might taste. 26. Though then he does not speak, yet speaking he does not speak. There is no cutting off of the speaking of the speaker, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, to which he might speak. 27. Though then he does not hear, yet hearing he does not hear. There is no cutting off of the hearing of the hearer, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, that he might hear. 28. Though then he does not think, yet thinking he does not think. There is no cutting off of the thinking of the thinker, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, of which he might think. 29. Though then he does not touch, yet touching he does not touch. There is no cutting off of the touching of the toucher, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, that he might touch. 30. Though then he does not know, yet knowing he does not know. There is no cutting off of the knowing of the knower, because it is imperishable. But there is no second, no other, separate from himself, that he might know. 31. When there seems to be another, one can see another, smell another, taste another, speak to another, hear another, think of another, touch another, know another. 32. He becomes one, water, a seer without duality. This is the world of Brahma, your majesty. Yajnavalkya taught him. This is his highest way. This is his highest fulfillment. This is his highest world. This is his highest joy. 33. If someone among human beings is healthy, prosperous, a lord over others, fully endowed with all human enjoyments, that is the highest joy of human beings. 100 joys of human beings make one joy of the ancestors who have won their world. 100 joys of the ancestors who have won their world make one joy in the world of the Gandharvas. 100 joys in the world of the Gandharvas make one joy of the gods by action, who have achieved their godhead by their 100 joys of the gods by action make one joy of the gods by birth, and of one who is learned, straightforward, and not afflicted by desire. 100 joys of the gods by birth make one joy in the world of Prajapati, and of one who is learned, straightforward, and not afflicted by desire. 100 joys in the world of Prajapati make one joy in the world of Brahma, and of one who is learned, straightforward, and not afflicted by desire. This is the highest joy. This is the world of Brahma, your majesty, said Yajnavalkya. Blessed one, I give you 1,000 cows. Speak on, for my liberation. Then Yajnavalkya was afraid, thinking, this king is clever. He has driven me out of all my territories. 34. When he has taken pleasure in dream, when he has traveled about in it, and seen both good and evil, he runs back again, back where he began, to the waking state. 35. As a heavily loaded cart goes along creaking, so this bodily self, ridden by the self which is wisdom, goes along creaking when it is breathing its last. 36. When it grows weak, whether it becomes weak through old age or through illness, then, just as a mango or fig or pipalberry is loosed from its stalk, the person is released from these limbs and runs back again, back where he began, to the breath. 37. Just as, when a king approaches, officers, magistrates, charioteers, and village headmen await him with food, drink, and lodgings, crying, he approaches, he is coming. In the same way, all beings await this Brahman, crying, it approaches, it is coming. 38. Just as, when a king wishes to go back, officers, magistrates, charioteers, and village headmen accompany him, so at the end all the breaths come together with the self, when it is breathing its last.
Chapter 4.
1. When this self, Atman, becomes weak and, as it were, confused, the breaths come together with it, taking with it particles of light, tehadas. It goes down into the heart. When the person of the eye turns away from it, it ceases to know forms. 2. They say he is becoming one he does not see. They say he is becoming one he does not smell. They say he is becoming one he does not taste. They say he is becoming one he does not speak. They say he is becoming one he does not hear. They say he is becoming one he does not think. They say he is becoming one he does not touch. They say he is becoming one he does not know. The top of his heart lights up, and by its light the self departs, either through the eye or through the head, or through other parts of the body. As he goes, the breath follows. As the breath goes, the senses, prana, follow. He becomes a being of consciousness. He follows consciousness. His knowledge and action take hold of him, as does his former experience. 3. As a caterpillar, reaching the end of a blade of grass and taking the next step, draws itself together, so the self, dropping the body, letting go of ignorance, and taking the next step, draws itself together. For as a weaver, unpicking a pattern from her weaving, fashions another, newer and more beautiful shape, so the self, dropping the body and letting go of ignorance, creates another, newer and more beautiful shape, either of the ancestors, or of the Gandharvas, or of the gods, or of Prajapati, or of Brahma. 26. Or of some other beings. 5. The self, made of knowledge, made of mind, made of breath, made of sight, made of hearing, made of earth, made of water, made of air, made of space, made of light, tejas, made of darkness, atejas, made of desire, made of non-desire, made of anger, made of non-anger, made of right, Brahman, made of wrong, Adaman, made of everything, is Brahman. It is made of this. As one acts, as one behaves, so does one become. The doer of good becomes good. The doer of evil becomes evil. By virtuous action, one becomes virtuous. By evil action, evil. They say, as one desires, so does one become, for the person is made of desire. As he desires, so does his will become. As his will is, so is the action he does. As is the action he does, so is what he gets back. 6. There is a verse about it. He with his action is attached to that same mark to which his mind is bound. When he reaches the end of the action he did here, he comes back from that world to this one, to act again. That is about the one who desires. The one who does not desire, who is without desire, free from desire, whose desires are fulfilled with the self as his desire, the breaths do not leave him. Being Brahman, he goes to Brahman. 7. There is a verse about it. When all the desires that dwell in one's heart are let go, mortal becomes immortal. One reaches Brahman here. As the slough of a snake lies dead, abandoned on an anthill, so the body lies. But the bodiless immortal breath is Brahman, light, tejas. Blessed one, I give you 1,000 cows, said Janaka of Vidyaha. 8. There are these verses about it. I have touched, I have found. The narrow, long, and ancient way. By it the wise, the knowers of Brahman, go up to a heavenly world, freed from this. 9. On it, they say, are white and blue, yellow, green, and red. The way was found by Brahman, by it goes. The knower of Brahman, the doer of good, the radiant. 10. They who worship ignorance enter blind darkness. They who delight in knowledge enter darkness, as it were, yet deeper. 11. Those worlds covered with blind darkness are joyless by name. People who are unknowing, unaware, go to them on departing. 12. But if a person knows the self, I am this, wanting what, for desire of what, would he burn up his body? 13. Whoever has found and woken up to the self, that has entered this dangerous, inaccessible place, he is the all-creator, for he is the maker of everything. His is the world, indeed he is the world. 14. While we are here, we know this. If not, ignorance, great destruction. Those who know it become immortal, the rest go to sorrow again. 15. When one sees it straight, the self, the God, Lord of past and future, one does not shrink from it. 16. The one before whom the year revolves with its days, the gods worship as the light of lights, immortal life. 17. The one in whom the 5 times 5 peoples, and space too are established I honor as the self. Knowing Brahman, the immortal, I am immortal. 18. Those who know the breath of the breath, the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind have discovered the ancient supreme Brahman. 19. It is to be seen only by mind. There are no differences in it. Whoever sees differences in it gets death after death. 20. It is to be seen as 1. Immeasurable, steadfast. The self is dustless. Beyond space, unborn, great, steadfast. 21. Knowing it. A wise Brahma should cultivate wisdom. He should not think on many words, for that is mere weariness of speech. 22. It is the great unborn self among the breaths that consists of knowledge. It lies in the space that is within the heart, controller of all, ruler of all, overlord of all. It does not become bigger by good actions or smaller by bad ones. It is the Lord of all, the overlord of beings, the protector of beings. It is the dam separating these worlds so that they do not run together. Brahmanas try to find it through study of the Vedas, through sacrifice, through giving, through asceticism, through fasting. Knowing it, one becomes a silent one, Muni. Desiring it as their world, renouncers wander. Knowing it, the ancients did not desire offspring, for they thought, what is offspring to us when the self is our world? Leaving behind desires for sons, desires for wealth, and desires for worlds, they lived on alms. For desire for sons is desire for wealth, and desire for wealth is desire for worlds. Both are merely desires. The self is not this, not this. Unsizable, it is not seized. Indestructible, it is not destroyed. Without clinging, it is not clung to. Unbound, it does not suffer, does not come to harm. It is not overcome by the thoughts, here I did wrong, here I did right. It overcomes both, and what has been done or not done does not burn it. 23. About this, the hymn 34 says, this eternal greatness of the Brahmana, by works neither increases nor grows less. One should know its place. Knowing it, one is not smeared by evil works. So knowing this, and becoming calm, self-controlled, quiet, patient, and concentrated, he sees the self in himself, sees the self as all. Evil does not overcome him. He overcomes all. Without evil, without dust, free from doubt, he becomes a Brahmana. This is the world of Brahma, your majesty. You have attained it, said Yajnavalkya. Blessed one, I give you the Vidyas, and myself to be your slave. 24. This is the great unborn self, eater of food, giver of wealth. The one who knows this finds wealth. 25. This is the great unborn self, unaging, undying, immortal, fearless Brahman. Brahman is fearless. The one who knows this becomes fearless Brahman.
Chapter 5.
One Yajnavalkya had 2 wives, Maitreyi and Katyayani. Of the 2, Maitreyi was a scholar of sacred lore, Brahman, while Katyayani had just a woman's knowledge in it. Now, as Yajnavalkya was about to undertake another course of life, Tu le Maitreya, said Yajnavalkya, I am about to go forth from this state. I must make a settlement on you and Katyayani. 3. Maitri said, Blessed one, if I had this whole earth filled with riches, would I become immortal by it? Oh no, no, said Yajnavalkya. Your life would be as the life of the wealthy, but there is no hope of immortality through riches. 4. Maitreyi said, What use to me is something by which I cannot become immortal? Blessed one, teach me what you know. 5. Yajnavalkya said, Ah, dear as you are to me, you have grown yet dearer. Come, sit down, I will teach you, but, as I explain, meditate upon it. 6. He said, It is not for the love of a husband that a husband is dear. It is for the love of the self that a husband is dear. It is not for the love of a wife that a wife is dear. It is for the love of the self that a wife is dear. It is not for the love of children that children are dear. It is for the love of the self that children are dear. It is not for the love of riches that riches are dear. It is not for the love of cattle that cattle are dear. It is for the love of the self that cattle are dear. It is not for the love of priesthood, Brahman, that priesthood is dear. It is for the love of the self that priesthood is dear. It is not for the love of royalty that royalty is dear. It is for the love of the self that royalty is dear. It is not for the love of the worlds that the worlds are dear. It is for the love of the self that the worlds are dear. It is not for the love of the gods that the gods are dear. It is for the love of the self that the gods are dear. It is not for the love of the Vedas that the Vedas are dear. It is for the love of the self that the It is not for the love of beings that beings are dear. It is for the love of the self that beings are dear. It is not for the love of the all that the all is dear. It is for the love of the self that the all is dear. It is the self that must be seen, heard, thought of, and meditated upon, Maitreya. When the self has been seen, heard, thought of, and meditated upon, all this is known. 7. Whoever understands priesthood as other than the self, priesthood has given him over. Whoever understands royalty as other than the self, royalty has given him over. Whoever understands the worlds as other than the self, the worlds have given him over. Whoever understands the gods as other than the self, the gods have given him over. Whoever understands the Vedas as other than the self, the Vedas have given him over. Whoever understands beings as other than the self, beings have given him over. Whoever understands the all as other than the self, the all has given him over. This priesthood, this royalty, these worlds, these gods, these Vedas, these beings, this all, are what this self is. 8a. When a drum is beaten, one cannot seize the sounds as something outside it, but by seizing the drum or the drummer, one has seized the sound. 9.8. When a conch is blown, one cannot seize the sounds as something outside it, but by seizing the conch or the conch blower, one has seized the sound. 10.s. When a lute is played, one cannot seize the sounds as something outside it, but by seizing the lute or the lute player, one has seized the sound. 11. As smoke billows out in all directions from a fire that has been laid with damp fuel, just so is everything breathed out from this great being, the Arjiveda, the Yajurveda, the Samaveda, the hymns of the Atharvans and Angirazas, history, legend, science, the Upanishads, verses, sutras, explanatory passages, expositions, sacrifice, offering, food, drink, this world, the other world, and all beings, all these are breathed out from it. 12. As the ocean is the one meeting place of all waters, so the skin is the one meeting place of all touches. The nostrils are the one meeting place of all smells. The tongue is the one meeting place of all tastes. The eye is the one meeting place of all shapes. The ear is the one meeting place of all sounds. The mind is the one meeting place of all decisions. The heart is the one meeting place of all knowledges. The hands are the one meeting place of all works. The loins are the one meeting place of all pleasures. The anus is the one meeting place of all excretions. The feet are the one meeting place of all roads, and the voice is the one meeting place of all the Vedas. 13. As a lump of rock salt is, without an inside, without an outside, and consists entirely of taste, so this self is without an inside, without an outside, and consists entirely of wisdom. Having arisen from these elements, it vanishes along with them, for after it has departed there is no consciousness. That is what I say, said Yajnavalkya. 14. Maitri said, Blessed One, you have brought me to extreme confusion. I do not understand this. He said, I do not speak to confuse you. This self is imperishable, of a nature, Dharma, that cannot be destroyed. 15. For where there is duality, one sees another, one smells another, one tastes another, one speaks to another, one hears another, one thinks of another, one touches another, one knows another. But where everything in one has become self, how can one see and whom? How can one smell and whom? How can one taste and whom? How can one speak and to whom? How can one think and of whom? How can one touch and whom? How can one know and whom? The self is not this, unseizable it is not seized, indestructible it is not destroyed, without clinging it is not clung to, unbound it does not suffer, does not come to harm. How can one know the knower? So, now, Maitreyi, you have the teaching. This is immortality. And so saying, Yajnavalkya departed.
Chapter 6.
1. Now, the lineage of the teaching from Padmasya. Padmasya received it from Gopavana. Gopavana from Padmasya. Padmasya from Gopavana. Gopavana from Kausika. Kausika from Kaundinya. Kaundinya from Sandilya. Sandilya from Kausika. And Gautama. 2. From Agnavesya. Agnavesya from Gargya. Gargya from Gargya. Gargya from Gautama. Gautama from Saitava. Saitava from Parasariana. Parasariana from Gargyayana. Gargyayana from Udalakyana. Udalakyana from Jabalayana. Gabalayana from Saukarayana. Saobalayana from Kasyayani. 3. From Gartakosika. Gartakosika from Parasariana. Parasariana from Parasarya. Parasarya from Jatukarnya. Gartukarnya from Asuryana. And Yaska Asuryana from Trivani. Trivani from Alpajandani. Alpajandani from Asuri. Asuri from Bharadvaja. Bharadvaja from Manti. Vidarbhi Kandinya from Vatsanapat Babrava. Vatsanapat Babrava from Pathansobara. Pathansobara from Ayasya Angirasa. From Abhuti Tvastra. Abhuti Tvastra from Visvarupa Tvastra. Visvarupa Tvastra from the Asvins from Dadyak Atharvana. Dadyak Atharvana from the Divine Atharvana. The Divine Atharvan from Mizdu Pradvamsana. Mizdu Pradvamsana from Pradvamsana. Pradvamsana from Viparsi. Patiti from Viprachiti. Piprachi from Viprashiti. Pradvamsana from Bhatana. Panatana from Baka. Sanaga from Parvamunna, Sanatana from Senada, Sanaga from Piparamundalshpana, Piparamundalshpana from Brahman. Brahman is self-born, homage to Brahman.
Book 5. Chapter 1.
1.om. That is full. This is full. Fullness comes forth from fullness. When fullness is taken from fullness, fullness remains. Om, Brahman is space. Ka, ancient space, airy space. So the son of Kauravyani used to say, this is the Veda that the Brahmanas know. By it one knows what is to be known.
Chapter 2.
1. The descendants of Prajapati, of 3 kinds, gods, human beings, and demons, lived as Brahmacarans with their father Prajapati. When they had completed their studentship, the gods said, teach us, father. He spoke to them the syllable, da. Did you understand? We understood, they said. You told us? Be self-controlled, Damyata. Om, he said. You understood? 2. Then the human being said to him, teach us, father. He spoke to them the same syllable, da. Did you understand? We understood, they said. You told us, give. Dada. Om, he said. You understood. 3. Then the demon said to him, teach us, father. He spoke to them the syllable, da. Did you understand? We understood, they said. You told us, be compassionate, Deyadavam. Oh, he said, you understood. This is what the divine voice that is thunder repeats. Da, da, da. Be self-controlled. Give, be compassionate. One should practice this set of 3. Self-control, da, daya. Dana, and compassion, daya.
Chapter 3.
1. The heart. Da is Prahaman. It is Brahman. It is all. It has 3 syllables. Da yam. Her is 1 syllable. His own and other people bring api, gifts to the one who knows this. Da is 1 syllable. His own and other people give, da, to the one who knows this. Yam is 1 syllable. The one who knows this goes, I, to a heavenly world.
Chapter 4.
1. Is that. This was that truth. The one who knows the great firstborn wonder 6, that truth is Brahman, wins the worlds. Could he ever be conquered? The one who knows the great firstborn wonder, that truth is Brahman, for truth is Brahman.
Chapter 5.
1. In the beginning the waters were all this. The waters created truth. Truth, Brahman. Brahman Prajapati, and Prajapati the gods. The gods worship truth, Satya. It has 3 syllables, Satyam. Sa is one syllable, Ti is one syllable, Yam is one syllable. Truth is in the first and the last syllable, falsehood in the middle. So falsehood is surrounded on both sides by truth and becomes truth. Falsehood does not harm the one who knows this. 2. What truth is? The sun is. The person who is in its circle and the person who is in the right eye are supported on one another. That one rests on this one through its rays, and this one rests on that one through its breaths. When one is about to depart, one sees that circle pure. The rays do not come to one again. 3. The head of the person in that circle is Bihava. The head is one, and that is one syllable. His arms are Bihuva. The arms are two, and that is two syllables. Sva is his support. The supports Pratitha are two, and that is two syllables. Su'a. His inner name, Upanishad, is Day, Ahar. The one who knows this destroys and gets rid of evil. 4. The head of the person in the right eye is Bi, Hage, Y. The head is one, and that is one syllable. His arms are Bhuva. The arms are two, and that is two syllables. S, Va, is his support. The supports are two, and that is two syllables. His inner name is Aham. The one who knows this destroys and gets rid of evil.
Chapter 6.
1. The person made of mind, the light, the true, is inside the heart, like a rice grain or a barley corn. He is the ruler of everything, the overlord of everything. He controls all this, whatever there is.
Chapter 7.
1. They say, lightning is Brahman. It is called lightning because it cuts free. Vidud. It cuts free from evil, the one who knows in this way that lightning is Brahman, for lightning is Brahman.
Chapter 8.
1.1 should worship speech as a milk cow. She has four udders, the sound Svaha, the sound Vesat, the sound Hanta, and the sound Svaha. The gods live on two of her udders, the sound Svaha and the sound Vesat. Human beings on the sound Hanta, and the ancestors on the sound Svaha. Breath is her bull, mind her calf.
Chapter 9.
1. The fire which is within a person is that which is in all men, by which the food that is eaten is digested. 0.14. It is its sound that one hears when one covers one's ears like this. When one is about to depart, one does not hear this sound.
Chapter 10.
1. When a person goes forth from this world, he comes to the air. It parts there for him like the hole in a chariot wheel, and he goes up through it. He comes to the sun. It parts there for him like the hole in a tabor, and he goes up through it. He comes to the moon. It parts there for him like the hole in a drum, and he goes up through it. He comes to a world without sorrow, without snow, and he lives there for eternal years.
Chapter 11.
1. When one suffers, with illness, that is the highest asceticism, tapas. Whoever knows this wins the highest world. When they take the dead out to the forest, that is the highest asceticism. Whoever knows this wins the highest world. When they lay the dead on the fire, that is the highest asceticism. Whoever knows this wins the highest world.
Chapter 12.
1. Some say that food is Brahman, but it is not so, for without breath food decays. Some say that breath is Brahman, but it is not so, for without food breath dries up. But when these two deities become united, they reach the highest state. So Pratra said to his father, "What good could I do to one who knows this? What harm could I do to him?" His father said with a gesture of his hand, "No, Patrada, who reaches the highest state by becoming united with these two." He said to him also, "V, food is V, for all these beings have entered into food. Ram, breath is Ram, for all these beings take pleasure in breath. All beings enter into, all beings take pleasure in, the one who knows this."
Chapter 13.
1. Yukatha. Breath is the yuka, for breath makes all this arise. Yuta. Whoever knows this, a hero 18, who knows the yuka arises from him. He wins union with the yuka, shares a world with it. 2. Yajus. Breath is the yajus, for all beings are joined together, Eugene breath. Whoever knows this, all beings are joined with him for his betterment. He wins union with the yajus, shares a world with it. 3. Saman, breath is the saman, for all beings are together, samek, in breath. Whoever knows this, all beings come together with him for his betterment. He wins union with the saman, shares a world with it. 4. Royalty, case sata. Breath is royalty. Breath indeed is royalty, for breath protects, trat 1, from being injured, trat 1. Whoever knows this attains royalty, that needs no protection. A trat is royalty. He wins union with royalty, shares a world with it.
Chapter 14.
1. Buhumi antariksam, Dayau, earth, middle air, sky. Syllabo, leo, ofu. 1 foot of the Gayatri has 8 syllables, and this is that foot of it. Whoever knows that foot of it as such, wins as much as there is in the 3 worlds. 2. Yaka, Yajumsi, Samani, Yajurveda, Elpinu, 8 syllables. 1 foot of the Gayatri has 8 syllables, and this is that foot of it. Whoever knows that foot of it as such, wins as much as there is of this 3-fold knowledge. 3. Prana, Apana, Vyana, breath, lower breath, diffused breath, 8 syllables. 1 foot of the Gayatri has 8 syllables, and this is that foot of it. Whoever knows that foot of it as such, wins as much as there is that has breath. Its visible foot, the Turiya, is the one who gives heat, tap, beyond the darkness. The 4th is the Turiya. It is called the visible foot because it has become visible. It is beyond the darkness because it gives heat far, far above the darkness. The one who knows that foot of it as such blazes, tap, with splendor, with fame. 4. The Gayatri is supported on the 4th Turiya, visible, foot, which is beyond the darkness. That is supported on truth. The I is truth. The I indeed is truth. So if now 2 people were to come arguing, one saying, I have seen, the other saying, I have heard, we would believe the one saying, I have seen. Truth is supported on strength. Breath is strength. It is supported on breath. So they say, strength is more powerful than truth. That is how the Gayatri is supported in relation to oneself. It has protected the Gayas. The breaths are the Gayas. It has protected the breaths. Because it has protected the Gayas, it is called Gayatri. This is the same Savitri that one teaches. 5. Some teach the Savitri as an Anustub 25 saying, speech is the Anustub Su, so we teach it as speech. One should not do so. One should teach the Savitri as a Gayatri. Even if one who knows this receives much wealth, it is not equal to 1 foot of the Gayatri. 6. If one were to receive the 3 worlds full, one would be getting the 1st foot of the Gayatri. If one were to receive as much as there is of this 3-fold knowledge, one would be getting the 2nd foot of it. If one were to receive as much as there is that has breath, one would be getting the 3rd foot of it. But no one can get its 4th, Turiya, visible, foot, the one who gives heat beyond the darkness. How could one receive something like this? 7. The way to worship it. Gayatri, you are 1-footed, 2-footed, 3-footed, 4-footed, you are no-footed, for you do not walk. Homage to your 4th visible foot beyond the darkness. One may pray, may less than name greater than not attain this, or may his desire not be fulfilled. If one offers worship in this way about someone, his desire is not fulfilled. Or one may pray, may I attain this. 8. On this matter, Janaka of Vidya said to Bhutila Asvataravi, Ha! You have called yourself a knower of the Gayatri. How is it that you have become an elephant, carrying? Because I did not know its mouth, your majesty, he said. Its mouth is fire. Even if one lays, as it were, much fuel on a fire, it burns it all up. In the same way, even if one who knows this does, as it were, much evil, he swallows it all and becomes pure, cleansed, unaging, immortal.
Chapter 15.
1. The face of truth is concealed by a vessel made of gold. Reveal it, Pusan, to my sight, which has truth as its dharma. 2. Pusan, Ekarksi, Yama, Surya, son of Prajapati, draw apart your rays and draw them together. I see the light that is your most beautiful form. That very person, I am he. 3. My breath to immortal air. This body has ended in ashes. Om. Will, remember, remember the deed. Will, remember, remember the deed. 4. Agni, God who knows all ways, lead us by a good road to prosperity. Overcome our crooked faults, and we will render you the utmost reverence.